Okay, Singularity World. Hi. Good morning from Berlin. Greetings wherever in your time zone you are. So I'm making this video because I want to start creating a monthly update that gets put through the field on where Singularity's at, because I feel like it would increase the health of our field to have consciousness brought to how the life is flowing through and expanding and moving things, so that we all have more of a sense of, I have a sense of what's going on. So in case you can hear children playing in the background, that's happening. And they may try and grab me at some point, we'll see. So I want to just give you a quick download on where I see the state of things with Singularity right now. And then there's also a couple of things that I want to share that are alive in my heart as I'm present with what's moving in the world right now. So Singularity is definitely experiencing more expansion and consolidation. I feel like there was a period up until I'd say maybe about a month and a half ago that felt like it was just rapid expansion. Different areas of the Singularity organism starting to pop up and feel like, oh, I think I want to be something, and maybe I do, maybe I don't, let's see. And then I feel like there's been more consolidation as well over the last couple of months. So areas where there's been expansion has been in national cells. So I think we have about 9 national cells now, and some of them with more activity, some with much less activity. And that's an area where we are getting clearer about what can be the possible pathway forward, how national cell point holders and those who feel passionate and interested to advance the work of Singularity in different nations, what can be possible areas of focus for them. So that's something that we're going to be taking forward within the national cells soon to see how we can take the fields of connection and interest in this work more fully into action. Because obviously if Singularity is going to have an impact in the world like we are purposed for, it's going to need a lot of action, and it's going to need community building. It's going to need people to call in and find the people who are meant to be connected to this work. It's going to need to involve a deep communion with the soul of each nation and its unique medicine to share as an expression of the whole. And it's going to also need to involve a movement towards there being beings who get involved in their local or regional, national level politics. So we're going to be taking steps forward with that. Also, maybe you saw Chloe Parr has come online, she is online. She's a very online being. So Chloe has taken the role of the operations manager, and I can honestly tell you, I am really enjoying working with Chloe. She's a being of fire and passion and clarity, and someone who feels the whole clearly. She's someone who has a background of feeling deeply called to work that is about the health of our world, the health of our planet, the health of our nations, the health of our governance and political systems. And so I'm just really, really glad that Chloe's come on board. And something that you're going to see from me and from us soon is a crowdfunding campaign to get her paid, basically. So we've had a really generous donation to get us off and running from Egor, our brother in Russia, who donated, I think it was $1,500, $1,600 US dollars. And I want to get to a place where Chloe could be receiving about £1,000 a month for the energy that she's putting in. I'm not going to say about, I want £1,000 a month for Chloe. And maybe you've seen that, my impulse has been that this to be the first paid position within Singularity. So in order for us to find that money for Chloe, to make sure that she can healthily dedicate the time and energy that really contributes to the evolution of the Singularity system, we're going to have a crowdfunding campaign that's going to be coming soon. So look out for that. If you want to find ways to support us, it would be really meaningful to make a monthly contribution to that, so that her role and the energy and the goodness and the increased smooth running of this Singularity organism can be supported. So that's one piece. There's definitely been an expansion in the International Policy Council, International Policy Circle rather. I first was calling it a council, now I'm calling it a circle. So this is where people who have a real interest and passion to be part of how we translate the vision of Singularity through into actual concrete policy positions on some of the major issues of our time can share their perspectives. And we have two ways that that's possible. And one is in terms of people coming on as experts in a certain way, people who have a strong background in a particular area who can help guide the development of the work in Singularity based on their experience towards a more healthy expression of where their area is oriented towards. And that's happening. I've been having some great conversations with Jean, who you'll see more of soon, around AI and the role of AI in the future of governance and politics, and also another woman, Carly, who has a really strong background extending over the last 20 years in the domain of racial equity and healing work and intercultural relations around race in the world, and how the healing processes there can happen, and also around constellations and so on. And so and power and decolonization. So there's a whole impulse around power and decolonization, which I'm really hoping is going to land more and more in the Singularity field, because obviously, we're having these conversations about the one humanity, but for this to really be the one humanity, then there's a lot of healing that needs to happen. So that's a major focus. And there's some beautiful movement in the members groups, members group rather, where Singularity members, I'm really feeling more of them step into their leadership and start to create offerings and for us to feel together how we can commune with what's happening in the world politically, culturally and socially, from an alignment with what Singularity stands for. So a little window onto some pieces that are moving. And I felt like just sharing a last piece on something that's just really alive in my heart as I'm present with the world situation, and that is informing my sense of the pathway forward for Singularity. And it's really, the core of it for me is I've just really been feeling my heart break. I've just really deeply been feeling my heart break for the trauma of our world, for the brokenness and for the pain and the violence, and of course such an obvious, utterly heartbreaking, tragic example of that is what's going on in Gaza right now, and the incredibly painful, trauma-infused war that is happening between Israel and Palestine. So and something that I've really been with that, I've been letting my heart break, and I really feel the grief when we really let ourselves feel grief. It's one of the most powerful pathways to remembering how we are one, that all here is one. And one way for us to connect to that is through meditation or prayer, or raising our consciousness. And another way for us to connect to that is to just let ourselves break open. And I felt myself breaking open deeply, and of course, as we know, the pathway from reactivity and vengeance and violence in situations like this to unguarded heartbreak, and the flowing of grief is often one that takes a long time. I remember I grew up surrounded by the Troubles in Northern Ireland, and that seemed to be an endless cycle of violence that people wondered whether this would ever end. And even though there's little outbursts of it still at times, it for the most part has. And yeah, there came a time where there was more space for grief and for grief to inform a different way. And obviously, there are so many other examples of war and conflict fueled by intercultural and international and intergenerational trauma that are alive, burning fires in our world. And yeah, I'm just feeling how critical it is for us to connect to the threads of history that have led us here. Yeah, something I've really been present with recently is looking into the colonial and Eurocentric contributing factors to the conflict that has gone on for so long in Israel Palestine. Yeah, around the UN resolution towards towards the partition of Palestine, which the Palestinians fought back against. And yeah, just there feel to be so many situations where, if we're really honest and we look back at how decisions and nations and maps, have been created 100 years ago and more, even less in certain ways, if we were really honest, we'd acknowledge that the balance of power was fundamentally unbalanced. And the truth of things is that all human beings have been ethnocentric and ready to fight in one group against other groups, for the most part, all of us for millennia. And we're swimming in the pain of that as we simultaneously feel our heartbreak and a recognition of the possibility of when humanity starts to emerge from that fire. So Singularity is dedicated to that, and something I'm just really present with right now is, okay, well, what is the proactive healing work that is necessary and that we can be an exemplar for, that we can also learn from others who've been doing it for longer, and that we can apply to the emergence of a new politics and leadership and governance, because I see less of that. I see less of the application of the noble and powerful peace work that people have been doing in certain contexts over generations to, okay, what about if this is a fundamental arm of new political movements such as Singularity? So yeah, this is my little update into the field on where I sense we are. I plan to do this monthly, and you will hear from me, of course, apart from that, in more regularly as well. And if there's anything that I've shared that really resonates, please, and you feel like you are aware of something or someone or whatever who you feel could really play a significant role in resonating with Singularity and taking it forward as well, as a collaborator, as a partner in any way, as someone who might have a real contribution to make, please let me know, or connect that person to this work. We need to, this is real. We're in this for the long term. And my genuine sense is that if Singularity has been launched for, where are we? It's going to be 2 years this summer. If we keep growing healthily at the rate that we have so far, in a few years from now, this could really be something that contributes something to the world. So, yeah. But that requires us. It requires us to step into and take a stand for what is the often very vulnerable and even forbidden longing that we have within us for a radically new and healthy expression of power and leadership and governance in the world. and to take action, to take the action which is aligned and true for each of us in the humble circumstances of our own lives. So it's with us all. Yeah. All right. Much love.